facing the Braves. He's a familiar, if not necessarily a grateful face. Reggie spent probably the worst season of his career as an Atlanta Brave 2 years ago. Hit just .232, 11 homers, both career lows. And then left Atlanta. He was on the DL twice that year. So it was painful in more ways than one.
Yeah, and he described it as such. You know, playing here in Atlanta, and the thing that his comments to me bring to light is that this is a big ballpark. This is not a small ballpark. I mean, 390 in the right center field gap, 380 in the left field gap. This is a big ballpark, and so, but he was hurt a lot. You know, didn't have the kind of year that he thought he was capable of having. Goes to Arizona, has a great year. Comes to the Giants, has a good year.
Off the outside, 2 balls, 1 strike. So that patient approach against Glavine that you talked about at the very beginning of the broadcast continuing here for the San Francisco Giants. The bottom of their order. In fact, the last half of their order has done all the damage so far today. Hit toward Castilla. Vinny very short-handed all year, committed just 6 errors. And Sanders is now 1 for 2. JT Snow with a 2-run double in the second inning is 1 for 1. JT growing up in Southern California. He grew up playing all sports, but he fell in love with basketball early on. Of course, you know his father, Jack Snow, the former wide receiver of the Rams. And JT says his dad convinced him that baseball and not basketball is where he ought to take his athletic pursuits. He said, you know, I love you, and you can do anything you want, son. But if it's basketball, you may be a 9-to-5 guy in an office someday pretty soon. You may want to rethink this. And he did, and he was very grateful to his dad. Big swing and a miss. There are a bunch of sons on the field in this series whose dads played professional sports. You know about Barry Bonds, of course. His dad, Bobby, an all-star. David Bell is the son and grandson of Buddy Bell and Gus Bell, both major league stars. Rob Nen's dad, Dick Nen, was a first baseman for the Washington Senators in the 1960s. A lot of good bloodline up the middle. Lockhart gets there. Nice backhand play. 2 out. You first got a look at his lineup. You were surprised he was that far down.
I really was. I thought that maybe he would move him up 6 or 7, and I think the reason why he was in the 8th spot is exactly what we saw there in the second inning, where, you know, Santiago Sanders get base hits, JT Snow doubles in 2. There he is hitting in front of the pitcher. You know, a guy who can be patient, a guy knowing that he's hitting in front of the pitcher's spot. He wanted somebody in that spot who can be patient and possibly, you know, take some pitches until he got a pitch he can handle, a drive and a run, and he did exactly that.
Got paid off with an RBI single in the second inning as the Giants put up a 3-0 lead. Fastball inside, and there's that swifty to the right-hand batter. Glavine never did that in 91, 92, 93. Don Sutton was talking about this and how that's a major change in Glavine's approach over the last 5 or 6 years.
Absolutely. And when you're throwing it from the third base side of the rubber.
Softly hit, but a line drive into the outfield, and Bell is 2 for 2. So that 8 slot may agree with David Bell. I mean, he's hit in 6 spots in their lineup, including leading off 47 times. But
it's in the 8th spot.
Russ Ortiz caught looking on a 3rd strike in the second inning. But he can get a hold of one. He's hit 2 home runs this year and 4 of them since 98.
We talked about what kind of bunter he was last time up. He's a much better hitter than he is bunter.
Yeah, he doesn't mind the situation as much. 2 out and a runner on. As mentioned, the bottom of the order for San Francisco has been rather deadly against Glavine today. The top guys, Lofton, Aurilia, Kent, and Bonds, haven't done much against the 36-year-old. Little looper backing out for call. He won't get it. That's another hit. It drops in. Bell into 3rd. The throw, the tag, not in time. But there at 3rd base.
And Sonny Jackson's laying on his side saying, get down, get down.
Oh, he got down himself. He had no choice. Lofton up the middle. It gets by Glavine into the outfield. That chases in Bell. So 3 consecutive hits, and again, the bottom of the order is doing it against Glavine. Lofton with an RBI single out of the leadoff hole. He drives in Bell, and before that hit, Kenny Lofton had been 0 for 13 in his career off of Glavine. The Giants trying to keep it rolling. Aurilia, a gap shot, slicing away from Jones, and it's between the outfielders. Here comes Ortiz in to score. Lofton screaming around third. He will score. And once again, the Giants are chasing Tom Glavine. Aurilia with a 2-run double. Here's Kent. He becomes the 7th man to hit here in the 4th off Glavine. Back to the screen for strike 1. So Aurilia at second base. He's 1 for 3 with a 2-run double. JT Snow also has a 2-run double.
Watching Jeff Kent take a swing there, he was trying to go the other way. He wasn't trying to pull that ball either. So the game plan for the Giants must be get a ball out over the plate and take it the other way.
1-1. Kent is a guy who will get pitches to hit, unlike the man behind him. Jeff Kent all season long was walked intentionally 3 times. What a great spot to hit it. I mean, that is the catbird season.
You gotta love it. I mean, you know, Barry Bonds obviously is the best offensive player, I think, in the game. And to be able to bat in front and behind him has got to be a big thrill. You know you're going to get pitches to hit. They're not all going to be fastballs, but they're going to be balls that you can put your bat on.
Yeah, and Kent doesn't miss that chance to drive in a run very often. To count 3-1.
And then the other thing for these guys, for the Giants facing the Braves staff, they face these guys a lot. They've had plenty of at-bats. They have 7 guys in their starting lineup with 25 or more at-bats against the Braves pitchers. And so
ball 4, so Kent is walked first and second, 2 out in front of Barry Bonds.
Well, he has third base open, and he doesn't have to. And being down 6-2, the last thing you want is for this game to be 9-2. So I don't expect him to give him very much to hit.
Well, as Josh Smoltz said the other day, I mean, you can pitch to him and still walk it.
Yeah.
Swinging a drive out to left center. Coming on, Andrew Jones, who will make the catch. Side retired. Bonds just missing the gap there. But the Giants didn't miss much in the inning. They scored 3 times and now lead it 6-2.